If it were to pass the House, then it would go to the Senate, where 2/3 of the Senate would have to vote that they should impeach him. The odds of that actually happening are slim. However, the message is clear. Look, these Republicans have been asking, and members of these committees that are providing oversight on the Department of Justice and the FBI, they've been asking for months, we need to see these papers. And they have stonewalled, according to the Republicans. But now I understand, according to the Wall Street Journal, apparently a number of the requests for documents will be accommodated in the next week.
Yeah.
Isn't that surprising?
Jim Jordan said he's tired of getting the finger instead of these documents that we're entitled to. He says it's not fair, and that Rod Rosenstein, that he signed off a third time for the renewal of that FISA court to be able to surveil Donald Trump's campaign, and that information that they used to get permission to do that was unverified, which is illegal.
The other major story that's not getting enough play, but it really, I guess for the people that do this for a living and depend on international trade to feed their families, this certainly matters. The President of the United States made it clear he wanted to rebalance trade around the world with the U.S., especially when it comes to Europe. After we rebuilt Europe after World War II in the 1940s, no one ever readdressed the fact that they're standing on their feet and they're competing with us unequally. So the President wanted to address that. The EU immediately was upset by it with aluminum and steel tariffs. Finally, they sat down and talked. They promised yesterday. That is great. They sat down, and we heard Larry Kudlow with us saying, no one has any expectations. No, we're just going to talk. But meanwhile, they had a plan, and their plan was to get something done. And believe it or not, they did.
And the president says we love each other. Did you see his tweet yesterday? Look at this picture. This is the president. He is hugging Juncker. He says, obviously, the EU, as represented by Juncker EU, and the United States, as represented by yours truly, love each other. And Juncker's like kissing him on the neck.
That's right. And you know, when all this trade talk started, people were going, what is the president of the United States doing? He's going to get us in a trade war. People did not understand this is how this businessman negotiates. He pushes them right up to the brink, and then before they go over the edge, they make a deal. And that's what happened yesterday. And what happened is, it sounds like the president's threat to levy a 25% tariff on cars really shook the EU to its core. They have now agreed, both have agreed to resolve the current U.S. steel and aluminum tariffs. They're going to figure out what to do about that. They're also going to figure out what to do about the retaliatory tariffs that Europe has placed on some U.S. goods. And here's some good news. They're going to start buying U.S. soybeans immediately, and in the future, as soon as the capacity improves, they're going to start buying a lot of liquid natural gas. Because the shale boom, that helps
all those people in the Midwest, all those soybean farmers.
And those are going to look to cooperate to reform the World Trade Organization. So if the EU and the U.S. get together, guess who's in town today? Mexico. Guess who met with Mexico yesterday? Canada. They're saying, don't make it a bilateral. Let's go back to reforming NAFTA. They got to get that done before this Congress is done, because you don't know if it's going to flip or not if you're President Trump or an American president.
Yes.
And then after that, you got to look at Japan. Japan's got to say, I want to get in on that. They could begin to fall together like dominoes and unite against the big problem, China.
Yesterday was the best economic news we've had in a couple of weeks, and it's a big win for the White House.
Yesterday also, we told you yesterday morning we were expecting Mike Pompeo to sit down in front of, get grilled on the Hill in front of some senators yesterday, and that actually happened. If you missed it, take a look.
Did he tell you what transpired in the
I've had a number of conversations with President Trump. I think I have a pretty complete understanding
Good.
of what took place.
Did you speak?
Presidents are entitled to have private meetings. I understand the game that you're playing.
No, Mr. Secretary, with all due respect, I don't appreciate you characterizing my questions. My questions is to get to the truth. We don't know what the truth is. Did he tell Putin that I'll release or ultimately relax sanctions?
Senator, what you need to conduct your role, your appropriate role, I will provide you today. You asked me about U.S. policy with respect to sanctions, and I can confirm to you that no commitment has been made to change those policies in any way.
North Korea still has chemical and biological weapons and brutalizes its own people. And again, there's no verifiable evidence that North Korea is denuclearization.
Senator, we have...
So I am afraid that at this point, the United States, the Trump administration, is being taken for a ride.
Fear not, Senator. Fear not.
There's no evidence to the
Fear not, Senator.
And those were just Democrats that we featured. A number of Republicans, including the chairman, Bob Corker, there at the Senate Foreign Relations Committee,